Well, joining me to review the papers in full, it's Natalie Bennett, the leader of the Green Party. Natalie, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, you want to start off by talking about Ted Heath.
I think so. I mean, this is the story that's dominating all the papers, although I've gone to one of the inside ones in The Sun, the headline of which is "Cops Make Astonishing Heath Appeal. Were you ever abused by former Prime Minister?" And I think this is a story that's going to run and run, very obviously. And it's a story that does highlight the fact that we've got the Goddard inquiry going on. But, I was recently at the meeting of the White Flowers campaign, people who've been the victim of previous child sexual abuse. And there really is an understandable deep distrust, fear, concern. And what we need is just total openness here, transparency, investigations, about what happened in the past. But then we also really need to look forward and think, what's happening now? Are our police forces, are our official institutions behaving appropriately now? We need to look back, but we also need to look forward.
What did you make of the fact that the police officer from Wiltshire Police made the appeal yesterday standing in front of Sir Edward Heath's former home in Salisbury? Could that be seen as slightly distasteful?
I think, you do have to worry about, what we want is the police to be actually, obviously they have to manage the media, they have to deal with the media if they want attention. But there is also a matter of simply being straightforward and honest and not playing media games. And yes, I think it probably would have been better done from a straight with a police sign behind you in a studio in what you would describe as very official circumstances.
And do you think that there is going to be an issue that as soon as any famous person is now mentioned in connection with this issue, Sir Edward Heath being the latest, that people automatically rush to judgment and assume that because he's been mentioned, therefore he must be guilty? Now, until the Daily Mirror this morning, there wasn't an actual allegation against him. There clearly is now because of the Mirror. And I mean, it is quite an incredibly detailed story that they have here. They claim Ted Heath, he was MP for Old Bexley and Sidcup at the time. In 1961, he picked up this 12-year-old boy on the A2, took him to his central London flat. We don't need to go into any more of the allegations. But, I mean, this looks a sort of credible witness, doesn't it?
It certainly does when you read through it. And I think, there is a real balance that the police have, and it's a difficult balance to strike between, these are circumstances. We know that in the past, historically, people weren't encouraged to come forward, but people were very fearful. People did come forward and were then just disbelieved. So you have to empower people to come forward. And these are people who've obviously been damaged by the experiences, of often had very difficult lives. So you've got to balance that, obviously, as you say, with the risk that people may feel that they want to come forward for other reasons. But I think, it is we do now understand that, when children make claims, they absolutely have to be taken seriously. And that wasn't the case. That wasn't what happened in the past.
Do you side with the trade unions, or do you think that there's a general sort of mismanagement of this in London Underground?
Well, I think there is a mismanagement in London Underground, and basically the unions have been presented with a fait accompli, with kind of working conditions, circumstances, that rather than going to the union...